Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Équinoxe Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Bable Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the news, Boko Haram militants sent several inhabitants of Turu village in the far north region of the Republic of Cameroon fleeing for safety. The village has been deserted as a result of continuous Boko Haram activities, and armed civilians disrupt CPDM campaigns or better still campaigns of the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement CPDM political party in the Momo division, northwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. And in this newscast, we shall be taking you around the country to show you how the different legislative and municipal candidates for the February 9, 2020 municipal and legislative elections in the Cameroon are crisscrossing their different electoral districts and constituencies, canvassing for votes. Stay with us. Inhabitants of Turu village in the far north region of the Republic of Cameroon have deserted the sub-region or the subdivision as a result of Boko Haram activities, and they have been forced out of their homes by violence orchestrated by militants of the Nigerian terrorist sect Boko Haram. Smanji Kangebe reports.
Inhabitants of Turu village in Mayo-Chanaga division leaving their locality to an unknown destination.
Ils sont venus avant-hier.
They were here before, since we are living around a hill. It's just too much. We can no longer support it. We are living with some goods and going to a peaceful village.
Pour aller là où c'est bien sécurisé, je peux dire.
The village, hosting close to 7,000 persons, is steadily being emptied as the inhabitants pick up their items ranging from domestic animals and other necessary things they will need to sustain themselves in their new promised land. We are packing our things because Boko Haram has decided to attack us. After destroying neighboring villages, it's our turn now. No schools are opened. The first movement of the population of Turu is due to the attacks of Boko Haram, which has led to the closure of 5 public and private schools in the locality, alongside marketplaces which have been shut down due to fear.
Franchement, nous sommes en deuil.
Sincerely, we are mourning when we see our old parents abandoning their homes to nowhere. It's a sad thing. We want the government to know that Turu is in problem.
Nous voulons vraiment que le gouvernement sache que Turu est vraiment en difficulté.
The population now look up to the government for a rapid solution, owing to the fact that Boko Haram had invaded most of the security posts and made away with their weapons.
And the mayor of Kondo Titi in the southwest region of Cameroon, hometown to Cameroon's Prime Minister, Chief Dr. Joseph John Guti, says that his municipality is gradually gaining back its stability. It is one of the areas affected by the 3-year-long Anglophone crisis, and the mayor of the municipality was speaking recently, indicating that life is gradually returning to normalcy in that part of the crisis-hit southwest region. There, Richard reports.
Kondo Titi, subdivision of the Cameroon Prime Minister and Head of Government. A people known for their agricultural activity are up and off to their farms as their children pick up their books for school, all unperturbed. Mayor Kenneth Nanji, the mayor of the Kondo Titi Council, says his municipality has achieved stability and he is now on their infrastructural demands.
They will expect us to grade the streets, grade the roads. We are making arrangement for solar power street lighting. We shall name the streets. These are things that the pollution will expect from us. We are building a market at the beach. We shall build the beach road. That's what will bring life. That's what will bring development to the direct impact on the population.
Talking to Equinoxe Television, Mekene Nanji revealed that his people have told him that they will vote for the CBDM party for their own good.
And the people are promised to vote massively for the CBDM party. Equinoxe needs the CBDM government, the CBDM party, because that's the only party with its leader that can bring development in the area.
Équinoxe Tv subdivision has also been heavily hit by the Anglophone crisis, and today some people are still displaced.
Yeah, the IDPs are taken care of with the humanitarian needs from the government and the humanitarian needs that the council is using to have direct impact on the IDPs. We are not sleeping. We are trying to make sure that the IDPs are not left out.
And ending the crisis is the wish of everyone here, in the Équinoxe Tv in particular, and Jam Division in general.
At least 5 people have been wounded in the gun attack in the Momo Division, northwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. The armed civilians attacked and disrupted the campaign of the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement (CPDM) political party in that part of the northwest region of the country. The attack lasted for some few minutes, and thanks to the intervention of security and defense forces of the Republic of Cameroon, things returned back to normalcy, or the situation was brought under control, and the CPDM could continue with its campaign in the Momo Division. We shall be coming back to this report in our subsequent news editions. Time for us to move over to Ndonga Mantum Division, still in the northwest region of the country, where CPDM party candidates in the Ndonga Mantum Division are determined to win the Ndu Council, and of course they expressed their determination during the divisional launch of the ongoing campaign ahead of the February 9, 2020 municipal and legislative elections. For me, Armstrong Sander has more.
Qualified by participants as record-breaking campaign launch in the entire Anglophone regions of Cameroon. Over 6,000 supporters and sympathizers of the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement (CPDM) political party, led by Ngala Gerard, party legislative candidate for Ndonga Mantum Center, demonstrated political force at the Fon Ibrahim Jabu Grandstand in Kambe, Ndonga Mantum Division of the northwest region of Cameroon.
Yesterday, we also launched in Kambe today. You saw it for yourself. A massive turnout by the population of Kambe. They've once more demonstrated their unflinching support towards the CPDM and their support towards state institutions. They have defied all the threats and have come out massively in their numbers to show their love for this country, to show their love for the CPDM, and to show their love for development. They respect the state authorities and they live with them in peace. So we are proud of people of Kambe, and we are happy that they stayed in that line.
The CPDM campaign team in Ndonga Mantum has as objective to grab the 5 councils and 4 parliamentary seats. And in the Ndonga Mantum Center, the party has already won 2 legislative seats and the Kambe Council.
And despite the fact that we've already won our 2 parliamentary seats, they still came out in their numbers. And when some people talk of boycott elections, when some people talk of there will be no elections in the Northwest, what will happen to this population that are ready to vote? What will happen to the people of Kambe and Ndonga Mantum that are ready to vote? No, there must be elections. The people of Kambe and Ndonga Mantum must exercise their civic duty and their democratic right to vote.
The target in Ndonga Mantum Center is the Ndu Council, completed by the Social Democratic Front and the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement.
We must win the Ndu Council. CPDM must win the Ndu Council, because with the CPDM in place in Ndu, we are very sure that peace will return. Because all other managers of the Ndu Council were for violence. That is why we have crisis in Ndu. and we are now working towards peace. We want to bring peace into. That is why in yesterday I called for all those who are still carrying their weapons to drop down the weapons.
The women's wing of the party is also ready to accompany the leader and the team in the winning process of the new council.
That we begin that victory. A victory now from we women. Anything where women say yes, women say it will happen. So won't be stop them. So don't give that victory for time for me. Yeah.
Kame is one of the rare localities in the Anglophone regions where school boycotts and lockdown campaigns have not penetrated, and the CPTM campaign team says it is thanks to the CPTM at the helm of the Kame Council.
And in the Ndian Division, southwest region of Cameroon, the campaign of the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM political party, equally pulled a huge crowd, and the militants and officials of the party have been braving the odds to meet the people in that part of the country to canvass for their votes. Derijato reports from Boya.
The campaign team of the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, the CPDM from Ndian Division, has launched the divisional campaign here in Mondemba, the divisional headquarters. Chief Nasako Fitzgerald, president of the CPDM Ndian Divisional campaign team, took his collaborators down to the electorate for one reason: to make them see the need to vote for the CPDM.
The appeal was overwhelmingly for Ndian to give a resounding vote of confidence for the party which the Prime Minister belongs.
And as the countdown to February 9 narrows, the stakes are also increasing. It is competitive in Ndian Division, reason why from Mondemba to Isangele, Isobo to Ekondo Titi, the Ndian Divisional campaign team penetrated through the creeks, met the electorate one-on-one and told them that the way forward is through the CPDM, and that for the Ndian man to vote for the CPDM will be another form of thanking the head of state, President Paul Biya, for choosing their son, Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute, as the Cameroon Prime Minister and head of government, and that they should do come February 9.
This campaign is an opportunity for us to confirm, for example, why the head of state has chosen the Prime Minister as this is my beloved son in whom I am well pleased.
Chief Nasako Fitzgerald and his team did not only end at the level of canvassing for vote on the ticket of the CPDM, but other measures were also taken. How to vote that day, for any mistake at the polling station is irreversible. When you get to the polling station, take this white paper. President of the campaign team told his people in the native Balondo language, put in an envelope and slot into the box you will see there. Do this, he added, for your vote is that power that will enable us bring your expected development.
Still in the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, in Tiko, the Social Democratic Front, SDF political party, brought together a huge crowd of supporters, sympathizers, and inhabitants of the subdivision in general during the campaign of the party of National Chairman John Frundi, and the militants, candidates and officials of the Social Democratic Front urged the people to vote for the SDF February 9.
Tiko subdivision with an SDF-run council remains SDF's stronghold in Fako division, reason behind a huge mobilization of militants as bike riders came out in their numbers during the launching of campaign in the subdivision. The campaign to the SDF was a show of strength in terms of party popularity, as explained by the Social Democratic Front Southwest Regional Chairman and head of Tiko Municipal List.
If they vote for the SDF will have to remove the CPDM from the system that has failed.
we will have to start from the grassroots. So the grassroots elections are very important for us to clear the CPDM out of this system that has made this country to go into turmoil.
In a typical grassroots style, parliamentary candidate Frix Etoke, who received a warm embrace from the Bayam Salam women at the Mutengene Big Mob Market, Limbe Road.
Since when they vote me, I don't ever run now.
SDF militants were cautioned on how to vote so as not to lose any vote of the party.
If you go that day, the first thing you do, now this call or so, you put them inside envelope. Then you go burn your envelope, you go put them inside that box.
The Tico Council, with 3 political parties contesting, including the incumbent SDF, it was but normal for the party to puncture the move of their strongest opponent, the ruling CPDM party.
CPDM militants will vote for me. I am saying here with confidence, it's going to be landslides in Fako East. They started collecting 10,000 voters card from people and giving them 10,000. Let them not try. I want them to go to the field. I'm here campaigning. I've gone to Moyuka, gone to Bimbia, everywhere. They are there sitting to come and fraud. This is a time of democracy, because any fraud is going to affect this election and the international committee might act.
A campaign caravan moved through Tico Town, Tico Main Market, Likumba, Mutengene Market, and other areas within the subdivision, preaching the gospel of the Social Democratic Front Party, the SDF.
SDF! Power! SDF! Power!
And the Social Democratic Front's municipal and legislative candidates in the Douala 1 subdivision and Uri Center electoral constituency have promised to fight against corruption and to improve the wages of teachers and health personnel if voted February 9. They made the promise during a campaign in the Bonakwama in the Douala 1 subdivision. Details with Innocent Azi.
Heads of the municipal and legislative list of the Social Democratic Front Party were in Douala 1 streets to woo voters. They preached to the population what they term urgent change.
Il y a certains de nos compatriotes qui travaillent au quotidien pour installer au Cameroun 2 États.
SDF legislative candidates for Wuri Center, Ngan Moise, says they are against some Cameroonians who are dividing the country into 2. That is, a rich and poor Cameroon.
Qui est également le président de la République pense qu'il faut continuer l'assainissement. Ils investissent encore des personnes poursuivies.
These candidates urged voters to take action by voting for urgent change come February the 9th.
Et défendre le relèvement
votes that will flush out corruption practices and see salaries of teachers and health personnel increased.
Que nos médecins et nos infirmiers ne sont plus très motivés et ça fait le lit de la corruption.
Madame Adeline Jomgang, SDF municipal candidate for Douala 1.
Après ces élections, nous allons mettre en place.
Says after their victory, they will put in place a participatory mechanism in the council, create quarter commissions and local vigilante groups for smooth running of affairs and the security of all.
À la mairie et que lorsque nous aurons fait un faux pas, qu'ils puissent nous reprendre.
It was at Bonakwamwang where the SDF held the campaign meeting. Before start of their activities, they observed a minute of silence in memory of Mayor Adolphe Lotin Same, who died last year.
Now to the Sanaga Maritime Division, where candidates of the Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation of Cabral Libi say they are agents of change. They told the people there that they are going to change everything as far as national life, in all aspects of national life in that part of the country, and they urged them to vote for the PCRN come February 9. Details in this report compiled by Immaculate Fogwe.
Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation municipal and legislative aspirants championing the cause for change in the Sanaga Maritime Division, littoral region of Cameroon.
Stand up and fight for our freedom. To stand up and fight for our independence.
Ahead of the municipal and legislative elections, they are telling the people that February 9, 2020 is the appointed day for change in all aspects of national life.
Cameroon is on the verge of change. We are entering a new cycle of the history of this nation, and we have to be part of that change. So we are inviting everybody to play his or her own role for that change to actually happen. Change in the way we conduct public affairs, change in the way we participate in our own development in our different communities, change in the people that are going to manage.
They call themselves agents of change, who have concrete and practical solutions to the plethora of underdevelopment challenges plaguing the 11 subdivisions of the Sanaga Maritime Division.
We are not going to bring ready-made solutions because the people themselves should be part of the solutions. So the same thing we are doing right now, going around listening to them, discussing with them, we are going to do the same thing if they give us their confidence or they place their trust in us. We will come back here, sit around with everybody around a table and carve out specific solutions to the specific problems that are being encountered in the different subdivisions.
The militants of the party created last year are urging inhabitants of the Sanaga Maritime Division to be part of the wind of change blowing through the administrative unit and the rest of Cameroon by taking the right decision, voting for the Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation, February 9.
According to the Divisional Delegate for Economy, Planning and Regional Development in charge of Public Investment Project, FACO Division for the past 3 years have witnessed a steady fall in the realization of projects allocated, leading to some public investment budget sent back to Yaoundé. This is said the ongoing Anglophone crisis coupled with other negative vices are responsible.
The division is facing a capacity absorption problem. Because with the same number of contractors, we cannot easily implement 1.5 billion contracts. This gives us a sort of capital loss for 2019 for more than 900 million. And I think it's a huge loss for the division.
The bone of contentions during the follow-up meeting with stakeholders was a Bimbia-Dikolo stretch of road in Limbe 3 subdivision to be rehabilitated. Chief Ekum Samuel is the chief of Dikolo village.
The contract was suspended because of the socio-political problems we have in the country. When we told them that we don't have socio-political problems that can disturb the job in Manowo Bay, Bimbia, because we have the forces of law and order around us. Until date, that job has not been done.
On her part, the chairperson of the FACO Divisional Follow-Up Committee, Honorable Etombi Gladys Ekome, says contractors are most to be blamed.
Please, contractors, try to get jobs within your reach. There is no point trying to get a contract for 100 million when you cannot execute a contract for 20 million.
It was revealed that though most projects for 2019 have been executed, the percentage of 64.25% still stands short of 88.5% same time in 2018.
That was Limbe-based correspondent Davidson Maimo reporting there on the impact of the Anglophone crisis on the execution of public investment projects in the FACO Division Southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. Up next, our campaign slot. We are receiving two honorable members of Cameroon's lower house of parliament and legislative candidates for the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM political party, and the Social Democratic Front in the FACO East constituency, Southwest region of Cameroon. First, to my right, Honorable Etombi Ekome Gladys. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You are the legislative candidate of the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement for FACO East in the Southwest region.
Yes, I am.
Thanks for joining us. And to my right, we have Honorable Fritz Ngeka Itoke, SDF legislative candidate for FACO East You're welcome.
Thank you.
Right. Honorable, I'm going to start with you. The campaigns in the Fako East constituency, how has it been, how are the campaigns unfolding with regards to the difficult terrain?
Thank you very much. Our campaigns are unfolding very well. We are serene, we are calm, we are calculative, and we are doing what we have to do. We have launched in many areas. Of course, you know, we had the regional launch, we had the divisional launch in Fako, and in Fako itself, we have in the different subdivisions, they are launching already. So the campaigns are moving on well, and I believe that we are on the right track.
All right, despite the difficulties with regards to the
in life, there are always difficulties. We are braving the odds. We have to brave the odds. That is what life is all about. And I believe that the CPDM is up to the task. We know there are challenges, and we look for ways to overcome the challenges, because you cannot dwell in one place because there are challenges. You must be able to look forward and move on with what has to be done in life.
Right. Honorable Fitzgerald Toke, candidate of the Social Democratic Front, how you've been managing to meander through the security challenges to move into different parts of the Fako East constituency to meet the people who are living there to canvass for votes?
Well, we of this SDF party, we have decided to embark on meeting the population. We need to meet them to let them know our stand when it comes to especially the Anglophone crisis. And that is the most important issue that has to be discussed during this dialogue, during these campaigns. Because for example, I went to Boyuka the other day to the market, met some traders. Even the population I met before going to the council, their wish is that this crisis should come to an end. You know, they are suffering, and there's nobody who can say he does not know the suffering of our population. I believe we have gone through our constituency just for 1 week. Now we are just putting our strategies in place to make sure we have the victory that is needed on the 9th.
All right. 5 persons were wounded in an attack by armed civilians during a CPDM campaign in the Momo division in the northwest region of the country. It's true that in the southwest region we've not had such an incident till now, but we know that Muyuka in particular is a very difficult area. It's one of the heartbeats of separatist activities in the southwest region. How you've been going through with that to meet the electorate?
No, I just had to. It's a risk-taking operation. I had to go there because I hadn't any option. I had to meet them, to talk to them. Well, you know, the southwest is better because most of the population are aware that Cameroon is one and indivisible. You know, at the beginning when this thing started, so many people knew that they were going to have their independence. They have been declaring independence on Facebook year in, year out. So we need now to meet the population, try to talk with them, and encourage them to go and vote. Encourage them to go and vote, because that is the only way we can continue.
Southwest is better?
Southwest
some of the very staunch separatist leaders there?
To me, Southwest is okay. It's okay, it's better than that, because the population of the Southwest have decided to shun from the cause of the separatists. They are calling that they should be boycotted for elections. How can we boycott elections? So I think
we know that in the Fako division in particular, the chiefs had called for a 10-state federal system in a united Cameroon. Anyway, all right. Honorable, we have not seen the CPDM in many of those very difficult areas, many of those very remote areas away from the central town of Limbe and other places that are relatively security free.
Well, then that just means that your reporters... Are you using
other strategies?
Of course, your reporters are not covering everything.
Of course, we cannot cover everything.
So you cannot say that you are not seeing the CPDM. The CPDM is everywhere. They have different strategies they are putting in place, and I want to assure you that the CPDM is everywhere. You might not see them, but we have our people at heart. It is only the CPDM which is installed in all the nooks and corners of this country. You know that. And we are using that to our advantage. We communicate with our people, we let them know what is necessary to be done, and we go ahead and do it. Talking about the insecurity, I would like to mention here that all of us Cameroonians of goodwill know that peace cannot be served on the platter of gold. We must desire peace, each one of us, truly. Not talking in the daylight that we want peace, and at night we go behind and work against peace. We must
honesty and sincerity.
Honesty and sincerity. And that is what the CPDM stands for. Because you have seen the CPDM go out to talk to the people, to convince them, to encourage them in their difficulties. We have never relented as CPDM to do that for our people. And they know that the CPDM truly stands for a united Cameroon, where everybody can find their little corner and do what they want to do. Nobody insisting, or nobody has a monopoly of stopping you from doing what you want to do. The CPDM is composed. The CPDM has... our actions are clear. You can see, you can feel them, and you know that the CPDM stands for a united, indivisible Cameroon, because that is the way forward. Our President of the Republic at the end of the year said it clearly. This is a new Cameroon. A new Cameroon where everybody can find their stake. A new Cameroon where we can all move together, knowing that we are all bringing our little blocks to build the country and to move forward. That is what the CPDM stands for.
Your actions are clear.
Yes.
But there are accusations of some illegal maneuvers.
I'm glad you are saying accusations.
Even
people
before the
who
election.
are afraid of facing the CPDM, they make those allegations. What proof do they have? People are already afraid that the CPDM would win, and then they start claiming things which they are just talking about. Please, let us all be responsible citizens. If you're running for office, you must have integrity. You must be able to speak the truth. And I believe that that is what will help us in our country to move forward.
All right, Honorable Fritz Ngeka Etoke, let me be very straight here. Are you afraid of the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement? Are you afraid of the candidate of the party in the same constituency in which you're running? Are you afraid of Honorable Etombi?
Do you think any right-thinking person in the Northwest and Southwest vote for the CPDM party? We are in the quagmire.
Please
that will
answer his question.
Party.
Don't go around.
You know, you'll be seeing me going around during elections. What do? You move around to campaigns. I've gone around the constituency. You haven't seen. You see what the population. Those who have not been doing anything, they cannot go and campaign. They are only trying to put their rigging machinery in place. The Mr. Ngura Francis in Bimbia, I met him the other day. He told me he was just trying to dangle words, but we have already started about the legal procedures against him. Yesterday, their parliamentary aspirant from Moyoka was in Boya one arming from Elekam.
What crime has he committed?
They are trying to put their rigging machinery in place. What is a parliamentary candidate do with an Elekam official in the night in an off license? Please. So they are trying to put their rigging machinery in place. The truth is that I want to let you know that there is no way CPD can go to the population. They cannot face the population. You remember they have let the population down severally. You remember during the dialogue, the population, the chiefs said 10 state federation. I'm the only one who had the courage to talk of 10 state federation in Yaoundé. And she wants to be parliamentary candidate. Did she represent her population then? She could not tell the people the truth. But she respected her party discipline. Now, who is going to vote for her?
Honorable,
let me get your point clear.
Yes. I want to
Please, I want to get your point clear.
Yes.
the person you're talking about could simply say that, you know, an Elekam official is just like any other person, and they can meet and have a bottle of drink here and there and so on. So I want to get the point about the fraud, the rigging machine that you're talking about.
Nobody, me. I went to Parliament during my first mandate because there was no opponent.
Under the CPDM?
Under the CPDM.
You crossed the carpet.
I discovered what they have been doing. CPD has never won any election in Fako division. I'm saying from the bottom of my heart, they know. We know what they have been doing. Buying polling agents. This time around it's going to be different. I'm there. I was with them. I know what they used to do. We have put our mechanism in place. We are canvassing for votes. There's no way you can stay. You say you are everywhere. Cameras are not seeing you are in your house. You say you are campaigning. We have done our job. We are doing our job. We know what is ahead of us.
Honorable, maybe we should know better.
Yes.
Maybe we should know better
Please,
from you.
yes.
What you meant by you have been everywhere? How?
Please,
Door
before I get to that point, Honorable Fritz Etoke was rejected by the CPDM because of his incompetence, because he could not present a list to the people who were choosing. Today he goes around and says he abandoned the CPDM. He did not abandon the CPDM.
But he said that he was receiving death threats from some bigwigs of the CPDM.
Oh, excuse me.
In
Those are
Southwest.
all allegations that he brings up. I think that we need people. For you to run as a parliamentarian for your people, you need to be someone who is honest, who has integrity, who has virtues which people look for. If you cannot meet up with the standards of the party for which you belonged for 6 years. For 6 years he was in parliament. Let him tell me one question that he addressed to the ministers on behalf of his people. Let him tell me one, just one.
All right.
So that shows you that when he claims today that he is going to be talking for the people, he is just talking because he has succeeded to be rejected and to be accepted by other people.
Let's not move out of the. Let's not move out of the. Honorable, I'll come back to you in a short while.
Yes.
Let's not move out of the campaign railway. Let's remain there. Let's talk about.
I told you that
you are everywhere.
Yes.
You are meeting the people how door to door.
Of course.
Right.
You want me to give you all my strategies? We are meeting the people door to door. We have a machinery on the ground which meets the people and talks to the people and we are results oriented. That's what we are. We don't make no. We are not making all the loud noise. Where it's necessary, we make noise. Where it's not necessary, we go from door to door and we do what we have to do.
All right,
it is not enough for you to stand up and claim that you have won the CPDM. He knows about the CPDM. Please, I believe that we have to be honest and we have to say things which are correct. We should not mislead the population. This is a time where we go to the people. This is a proximity election. You prove to the people what you have done. Let him prove to the people what he has done for 6 years.
All right, Honorable,
yes.
Okay, let's now talk about what you're proposing to the people. But before that, I would like you to talk, because Honorable Etombi was highlighting something concerning what you have done for the people for the past 6 years.
Yeah, I want to say something. She has never been a friend.
How does that matter?
You are talking about
the question. Honorable, answer the question.
Please, Honorable, let's be
let me let you know something.
Let me
let you know something.
Yes.
The leaked audio that Senator Mbela Moki, who has been a senator for 2 mandates, while he has not even bought a class for his community. You
tell the people what you have done.
Please, Honorable, let's calm down, please.
Stop quoting.
Let us calm down, please. Let's calm down.
What he has done.
Let us calm down, please.
You know
what has he done?
Yes, please.
You know what?
Let's go straight to the point.
Use her. She was never my friend.
What do you mean? Who was trying to use me? Not only using me.
They were using her to trick me, so at the end they would dump me. Very intelligent. I did not have a list. I submitted my list to the CPDM first, but you know what? I was the most qualified. If she has it, our micro project is not picture.
Mike, tell us the micro project. Honorable, stop showing business. Alright, stop showing business. Tell us the project.
Honorable,
project.
let's go.
Sustainable project for your people.
This is
Honorable. You have done nothing.
Honorable Tombi, let's calm down and we get the people and get the message through. Can we calm down, please? Can we calm down? Can we calm down? Can we calm down?
Okay, let me go ahead.
Let's calm down and we get the message through to the people. They are listening. They want to hear.
I want to let the population.
Yes, Honorable. What have you done for the people of Fako East?
Tell us
for the
what
past
you have done
6
for the
years?
people of Fako East.
Okay, so
tell us.
You see, this is my macro project report from 2014-2019. If she has something, she has to tabulate and show us. See, these are 2 classrooms in Lukumba. I don't think she has ever built 2 classrooms. This 80 million.
Just go ahead, please.
Please go ahead. Show the projects. Show the projects.
These scholarships to less privileged students in GVHS Mutengene. The police in Mutengene used to be by the road. I gave them the benches and the computers for them to start. That's the regional delegate receiving it. This Munyenge Head District, I went there. It has been bent. I gave this is the government delegate and the lead mayor of Limbe, Tadale. Generator that they don't have light there. I gave them the generator, medical equipment, and chairs. I have been organizing Itaquatas regularly to keep the youth busy. In Tiko, Ekona gives to the less privileged. This is Ekona, Stone Kwata Moyuka. This is Ekona. This is the mayor of Moyuka. This is me. This is the Dio. This is Tiko. That's 2014. These are computers I gave to public and private institutions in Fako East. That is basic education family, Tiko and Moyuka, the special branch Tiko and Moyuka, the commissioner, the courts, the legal department. These are exercise books to children.
All right, we will not.
They are there. These are. There are too many. This is farmers' bridge that are built to increase productivity. They are there yearly. They are there. Then I was a champion for back to school in Fako division.
All right, I was going to ask you, apart from what is documented in those what you have in there in your hands, what have you been doing, Honorable?
Okay.
So, with regards to the crisis, regards to efforts to restore peace and normalcy in the Fako East and the rest of Anglophone Cameroon.
Okay. I want to say, when this crisis started in 2016, November 2016, I'm one of those who contributed to have the numbers of those lawyers. We had a meeting at the Hotel Deputy, which some of the resolutions are being implemented gradually. Secondly, I'm the only I used to accuse my colleagues for sitting on the fence. I've been clamoring for dialogue. The time came for the dialogue. That's why you see in the National Assembly, they are so-called party discipline. They don't give room for people to talk. When the dialogue came, something that we cherished as a youth, I could not let the youth down. The chief stock of 10 states. We had meetings in Boya, Tiko and Limbe. Everybody was 10 states. The gang of CPDM Fako, they went to Yaoundé, they sealed their mouths.
Please, who are you calling gang? Mind your language. Please. Mind your language. Yes. Respect yourself.
Yes. So now, as an SDF member of parliament, I know I'm going to do better.
I'll come back to you to tell us what you're going to do. Honorable, I'm not going to ask you what the CPDM has done for the Fako East, because he did all what he presented to us under the canopy of the CPDM.
Oh, yes.
So let's look at what is expected of you by the population, what will be coming as far as the next 5 years are concerned.
Well, the next 5 years, in the past 6 years, it is clear that as a CPDM parliamentarian, I touched many lives in the area of health, in the area of agriculture, in the area of education, in the area of, that is, the things which touch the people, sustainable development, things which the people would use to improve their lives. That is what we did for the past 5 years. And if we are given the mandates, for which I know we will be given, because the people see, listen, these elections are not, it's not a matter of SDF or CPDM. It is you, your people, the people in the community where you live, the confidence they have in you. That is what will vote for you. That is what we are looking up to. And I know that the CPDM is going to gain because of my presence there. Of course, I'm not alone. We are working as a team with a person from Muyuka. But I want to tell you very clearly that we represent experience, competence, integrity, and dynamism. That is what we stand for. And that is what we are going to be doing. We are humble. We are not haughty. We do not talk about people carelessly. We respect the authorities around us. We respect everybody. Even the lowest person, we do respect. My opponents should learn to do that. Those virtues matter in life.
Concretely, you have some of the things that you've done for the past 6 years as a member of parliament for FACO. Is written in the magazine you have in front of you there. But,
I don't know what I want to say, the magazine on TV. This is a magazine which was not produced yesterday because of elections as he has done. This is a magazine which was printed in 2018 to show you that we cannot capture all our actions, but the main actions are there. We treated women with fistulas, 15 women who suffered. If you know, fistulas is a situation where urine and feces mix together and come out uncontrollably from women, and they are abandoned by their families. I took upon myself through the mandates, and I treated 15 of them. It's a situation when you have it, you don't have children. But now, one of those women has a child who is almost 5 years old. That's wonderful. I touch the bike riders. Those are the community people who work for the community. I help them to obtain licenses. I provided them helmets and jackets. Education. Well, it's so much. More than 200 children were trained for ICTs, and after the training, I supplied them with what they needed to start off their little lives.
All right. In very briefly, what are some of the major projects that you have in mind for the next mandate if you're voted into office?
Yes, Mr. Babila. When that time comes, I'll come back here and tell you my projects. People who steal people's ideas are all over the place. I don't want my ideas stolen. I'm going to come back here to let you know after the 9th of February that this is my plan of action. And you check me out. In 2013, everything I said I was going to do, that is what I did. All the things in my manifesto, you check it out today, that is what I did. So please, wait, after the 9th of February, I'll come back.
All right.
I'll let you know.
Honorable Fritz, you have presented to us a wide range of things that you did for the past mandate. Now the coming mandate, briefly, what do you have for the people?
Well, in my manifesto...
They're rounding up.
Yes, in my manifesto, I'm going to put the youths and the women at the center of our actions. My running mate from Limbe is involved in women empowerment. Just as I did during the first mandate, I will continue. And I want to call on the electorate not to vote for anybody who does not have anything to tell them. If you are coming back on the 9th to tell them, it means you don't have anything to offer. As during the previous mandate. There's no, these things, I do micro project every year and give to the National Assembly, the case store. Since 2014. You cannot say you have done micro projects, then you do your own booklet in 2018, and then you don't even know the major project you did. You have to be accountable to your population for what you have done. That's what I did. Any MP in FACO does not have micro project report. You cannot be collecting micro project, you don't do reports. You come and do a magazine in 2018, you are telling me that you have done this.
Honorable, mind your language. You know that you cannot be receiving micro project if you do not give your report to the customers.
All right, we have come to the fact
that you have done what you have done, that is not important.
She's doing a magazine. What does it do? Magazine? They look at
yes.
All right, thank you.
Actions are there.
Greeting the first lady is a micro project. Sitting on the glass is a micro project.
I did.
You think if that touch the lives of people.
All the women in Linden
would
tell you that I am an MP who stands for the women. I've
been visiting women in Linden. Let her go and campaign for them if she knows that.